to yourself, but for some reason, technical. So good evening, and thank you for tuning in to another week with Fathers Who Care. We just been informed that we're experiencing just a little minor technical difficulties on this end, but we're good to go. I have one of my dear sisters and friends with us today, and we're going to share some valuable information with you all that's going to blow your mind. If you're really interested in being a part of the Fathers Who Care in the West Side Community Stakeholders, and you would like to be a part of the real change on the West Side, I want to encourage you, if you will, to just get in touch with us at 773-287-5821, 773-287-5821, and ask for Princess, ask for Vernicia, ask for Terrence. Just let them know what you need, and we're going to make sure you get what you want. But also, I want to just say this today, that we're talking specifically about community awareness, community empowerment, and we're talking about vetted community stakeholders who are in the neighborhood, who are making serious systemic changes for our people in Austin and on the west side of Chicago. So with that being said, I would like to move on down the road because I do have a few questions that I would like to share with our guests. Before I do that, but I'd like you to know that the person that I have on the show with us today is none other than my sister, my friend, and our president and CEO of Loretto Hospital, Tesa Anewishki, and she's going to talk to you a little bit more about what's going on at Loretto Hospital. You all know Loretto Hospital has been on the up. It has been bringing all kind of much needed resources into the community. It has been welcoming folks into the facility. It has been compromising. It has been working diligently to make sure that quality healthcare services are featured and presented on the west side of Chicago. So I would like to move on down the road and have this nice discussion. And the theme tonight is People United to Promote a Safe, Healthy Community while engaging others in community organizing and civic engagement. Now, of course, for some who don't know, Loretto Hospital is basically serving the least of us. Mm-hmm. I would like to say that you all do a lot of nonprofit work. Yes. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, absolutely.
So let me do this here, and then let's get on back and talk to my sister. She's, of course, as I alluded to, she's the president and CEO of Loretto Hospital. She's a woman of God. She's a community servant for social change. She really believes in empowering the community. I've known her for many, many, many years, and ever since I've known her, she has always been a good steward. Mm-hmm. You've always been in the background. You've always been about the writings. You've always been about you what they call that quiet storm. Mm-hmm. You've always been making sure things are going. So I'm just so excited that you have blessed us, first of all, to be with us this evening. So thank you, Tesa, for that.
Thank you.
Secondly, I want to thank you for taking on that banner to be the new president and CEO of Loretto Hospital, because I really do believe that with all of the things that's been happening and all the growth that's been coming, I think God does things in his season and at his time. So I know it's your season. And I know you have been purged. Trust me, in many ways than one. All right? But congratulations on becoming the new CEO. But you've already have been there putting in the work. So tell me, how do Tesa feel? I know we're going to get into the president stuff. We're going to get into that CEO stuff. We're going to get into all of that beautiful stuff. But how is Tesa, and what motivates Tesa to continuously want to be that change agent?
Oh, good question. I think for me, I want to live my life with intention.
Okay.
I want to make sure that I am living out my purpose, the purpose that God has ordained over my life.
Right.
And that is to help people. Always has been. I come from a family who is, works for human and social services for well over 50 years. And I think it was just something that is very organic and innate for me to do, is to serve, is to help others, to make sure that we, our communities are healthy, that we have the same benefits and life advantages as other communities to increase that health or that life expectancy gap that the West Side is being impacted with. And so again, for me, it's just helping others. Really,
Well,
it makes me happy.
Well, I believe you have been really committed to that, and there is of course the health equity gap, life health equity gap, and you can speak on that if you choose to. You want to share anything about that?
Absolutely. When you talk about the life expectancy from downtown to the west side of Chicago, you're talking about a 25 year difference. So just think about it in the context that, you've been investing in Social Security. Well, I've worked full time since I was 16 years old. So you're investing in a system for all this time, and you will never be able to take advantage of those opportunities if we do not do something very meaningful, very intentional to address those health disparities, preventing our people from living longer. And it's a real thing. And so again, I talk about intention all the time, is that we can't just talk about the comorbidities and the illnesses that the community is faced with. What are we doing to specifically address that? And I know a lot of times, a lot of those decisions are driven by finances.
Right.
We're a safety net organization, so we serve a very vulnerable and at-risk population. But if we're talking about, again, making real change, then we have to do the right things. We have to bring in the services that the community needs in order for them to live healthier longer.
And thank you for sharing that, because that has been a concern. And it could be because of food deserts. It could be because of access to quality health care. Of course, poverty plays a great role in it. But tell us, how does that fit within your vision, if you will, or your plans as the CEO and president of Loretto Hospital?
I would love to reimagine that 2-block radius of Central on the west side off of Central.
Okay.
And 290 is to reimagine that community or that real estate as a wellness village, right? I think Loretto wants to be the expert in what Loretto knows how to be the expert in, and we want to make sure that we are partnering with all the other wonderful providers doing meaningful work in the community, and let's all collaborate so that we are in this centralized location, that our patients who have difficulty with transportation don't have to travel far to get the services that they need. And so for me, it's about collaboration and not competition. Again, there's a lot of providers doing meaningful work in the community, and I think if we truly band together and really take it back to a very grassroots approach, that we can make meaningful change.
So when you say grassroots, I personally know, I believe I know what you're saying, because I'm around. Every time something is going on with Loretto in and around the hospital, I'm involved. So I really know what's going on, and it ain't just started. It's been this way for a while. And so for the audience who don't know, when you say grassroots, what are you really saying to those who may not be astute to what's really going on?
I think bringing back that real sense of or true meaning of community.
Okay.
Right. So we talked a little bit about back when we were growing up, there were, the mayor at the time, it was between Harold Washington and then Jane Byrne, that when we did these community cleanups.
Right.
And they provided the rakes and the shovels and the garbage bags, and the whole neighborhood came out to really make sure that our community was clean. It was something that we can be very proud of.
Okay.
And so, banding together like that. There were times where we had a neighbor growing up that had his whole backyard was a garden, and he would walk around and put fruits and vegetables on everyone's porch. If there was someone who got laid off, and probably shouldn't say this on the air, but we were creative with open windows to make sure that our loved ones and our neighbors were able to sustain to help their families and sustain their families.
Absolutely.
So when I say grassroots, take it back to the basics.
Right.
I think we look sometimes on the outside for all of this help to come in when we, the community, have the power to make the change. change.
And I think, I know your heart is there, and I know that you have really been committed, and I know you have some folks around you who echo those sentiments. I know you have had some challenges, and of course that comes with the territory, because what don't break you make you
Stronger.
And so it makes you stronger. So you got to go through some stuff in order to get to some stuff. So some things are okay within context. However, when you're really trying to bring about this real community change, which you are doing, and you're doing it for the right reason. I mean, to improve folks' quality of life. So when you're talking about the quality of life, you talked about it, the disparities, the impact, the years. So what is negatively, in your opinion, impacting the quality of life for folks in the Austin community and or the West Side?
Absolutely. I think it's access. Access to care is still a very real thing that we have to figure out how to address. When we talk about the social and the political determinants of health that are really still have an impact on healthcare. When you talk about someone's overall health, we have to talk about their economic opportunities.
Right.
We have to talk about educational opportunities. All of that together helps create and revitalize a community, to help a community become healthier. And so I think that those are some of the things that we have to do that are not necessarily lacking. I think that we just have to figure out more innovative ways on how we collaborate to make meaningful change. I talk about social drivers of health a lot, and I think we look at social drivers of health sometimes as transportation, for example.
Which is important.
Which is important,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so we might say that, transportation is a social driver, but I think we have to look at it on a more granular basis. Perhaps someone has a car, but because of the price of gas, they don't have enough money to fill their gas tanks. Or let's talk about quality of life.
Okay.
Perhaps there's someone that needs surgery, but they live 3 floors up in an apartment building, and they live alone, and so they choose to live in pain rather than to get the surgery that they need because they feel like they don't have the proper support system.
Okay.
So I think we have to figure out how do we wrap around and address those issues so that those that need the care get the care that they need when they need it.
Well, I think that's the most important thing when you say the wraparound, wraparound service. And I think if we, as the community stakeholders, really understand our strengths,
Absolutely.
and we rally our strengths or pool our resources intellectually or financially together, we can't help but grow.
That's right.
And we can do the community a great justice if we continue to do that. So that's what I have been seeing thus far with Loretto up under your leadership. I have been seeing, I've been around a little while, and I see how folks do a lot of things, and folks entitled to do what they feel. As they do what they do to do their job. But I know that you have this. It's just in your spirit to try to help the least of us. And when you keep on pressing that, why are you so committed to trying to help those who have been disenfranchised?
Because I've been disenfranchised. I've been one of those people. I've been on the other side. I've been a single mother on public aid, and I have luckily I've had a wonderful support system, a wonderful family that has seen me through some very challenging times. And so I understand what it means to have that support system and that infrastructure around you in order for you to do the things that you want to do. And so that's why I'm very passionate about it, because I know firsthand what some of those challenges are, what it does to your mental health when you're not where you want to be in life, which plays a huge part in your overall health and well-being. And so that's where my passion lies, is that I know the possibilities. I know what is possible. I know what we can do when we put our minds to it.
So would it be fair to say that you're not disconnected, but you are in fact connected to what you're really trying to do?
I am very connected to what I'm trying to do. Absolutely.
Because some folks can be so intellectually, or they think they're so intellectually astute that they don't have a nickel worth of common sense, and they really not understanding the plight of what people are going through. I mean, I think in this day and age, that most folks are really crying out. I really feel it. I feel it in my spirit that folks are crying out. They're crying out for whatever reasons, but most of them are really going through some changes. I know that some of the changes is mental. And so let's talk about that. You got you renovated the substance use disorder unit. Tell us about that.
So we will be reopening our substance use disorder unit.
Okay.
The unit was closed in 2019. However, when
That's on the fourth floor.
On the fourth floor.
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
And so when we talk about the issues that the community is impacted with, and we had to shutter a service line for financial reasons, but when we look outside our windows, and the hospital sits right off of 290 and Central, we see all the individuals out there that need help. So if we say we are going, our goal is to address healthcare disparities, then we have to provide the service that the community needs. And so we are reopening that unit. COVID played a tremendous role in terms of mental health and depression among hundreds of thousands of people. So how do we create, again, a support system so that those that are in need of help can get the help that they need? And a lot of times we don't realize that we are depressed. I think we try to self-manage, sometimes self-medicate, when we need to be there so that we can do meaningful work and really help people navigate tough times.
Now, I'm really glad you said that because, I kind of pride myself on being a really rather strong guy. But, I've been feeling since COVID and during COVID, I kind of been feeling some kind of way. I've been a lot antsier, experiencing a lot of anxieties, if you will, because I've been seeing the plight of what the folks been going through, and I've been trying to be everything to everybody. Which ain't a good thing.
Can't pour from an empty cup.
It's not a good thing. But I've been feeling that because I love these young people, and that's my passion because somebody has to do it. Somebody got to cuff these young people. So let's talk specifically about the hospital and some of the new things that's going on at the hospital. I mean, they may be new to some other folks, but they may be. They're new at the hospital, or they may be renovated, or they may be just put some energy to it. Yeah, talk about the community cup.
So, I think I share with the leadership team is that if we're going to proclaim better, we have to present better.
Okay.
And that means starting with investing in our team members. We have team members that want to move across the organization, whether it's vertically, horizontally, and how do we create an infrastructure where we support that growth?
Right.
So we're putting together some programs so that we can help our staff do just that. We are bringing back additional service lines. So we recently renovated our physical therapy department.
Okay. Talk about that.
Yes, it's beautiful. And we did a kickoff a couple months ago, and we celebrated a patient who was 100 years old.
I remember seeing that.
Yes, she comes to the facility every Wednesday at 11, has for a number of years. And so we took that opportunity to celebrate her 100th birthday because Loretto Hospital also celebrated its 100th birthday. And so we did a beautiful renovation of our physical therapy center. And, be honest, when we talk again about healthcare disparities and intentionality, that a lot of people say, well, the PT, physical therapy, the rates got cut for reimbursement by, up to 90%. But again, if you look at those who, or some of those who are have opioid abuse, do so because 32 to 37% are dealing with chronic pain. So how do we support them? That means that we need to have a meaningful pain management program, which includes physical therapy.
Which is true. It's so true, but go ahead, please.
So that's how we make change. And so we are also redoing our outpatient behavioral health center. We are doing some renovations because we want to create a very therapeutic and healing environment. Want to take the institutional look out of healthcare. And really make it feel like a place for healing.
Yeah, I like that. And what you're saying, I mean, those who are watching, you can't help but feel the spirit and feel the passion of what Tesa is talking about because she's not saying it just to say it. She's saying it because that's what's actually going on at Loretto Hospital. And that if you notice, you don't hear from many hospitals around and about who are intentional about making sure that the community is in the loop, or they're made aware of what's going on and why things are happening. So I love the fact that you're doing that, and you're not afraid to do it. You want the people to know why you're doing it, and you're transparent. You've always been transparent that I've known about you. And you also have some folks around you that you're still working on, trying to make sure everything is gelling so that you can bring resources and support to even your own internal staff.
Absolutely.
So that's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no secret we've been through some challenging times, but this is about growth.
Yeah.
This is about pressing forward.
Yeah.
And we are excited about the direction we're going in. We have a lot of other new things planned, women's health services.
The men's health event.
Men's health service.
The summer series. I'll run with it if you want me to.
Right? We have a lot because mobile health, we're going to rethink how we do community health. I think we should really have a door-to-door approach. So how do we do that? Because we know that sometimes access is an issue. Getting away, you might have childcare issues. How do we support you? So we're really coming up with some innovative ways in terms of how we do that. And our leadership team has really stepped up to the plate. Everyone's very excited about the direction that we're going in, and I really believe that we will begin to see those numbers start to decrease over the next, 3, 5, 7 years.
Well, that shows that you're strategic, because you just started talking about short, intermediate, and somewhat long-term goals. So that tells me that you are strategic in your thinking, and that you've been doing some strategic planning.
Yes.
Because just the flow that you're going and how you're laying it out shows that you really are intentional about making sure change is brought about. You're watching Fathers Who Care. Of course, our guest this evening is none other than the president and CEO of Loretto Hospital, none other than Tesa Anewishki, and she is definitely someone that you should know. She, of course, as she just alluded to, she has come all the way through life's changes, and she has been blessed and fortunate. That's how God works.
Absolutely.
God don't particularly care for those who got it all. God like to bring those up who's been tried, who's been tested. So I thank you for that. As I was alluding to, give Fathers Who Care a call if you have some young people between the ages of, we got 2 cohorts going on, 12 to 17, 18 to 24, interested in youth leadership, drop-in services, violence prevention activities, youth empowerment groups. They're currently working on some cultural awareness, cultural diversity activities that they're doing. They're doing some youth leadership activities. They talked about college and college entry and all of that good stuff. Yes. So give us a call at 773-287-5821. Again, 773-287-5821. Now, Tesa, if someone is interested and wanting to just be in the loop of some of the activities that's going on, how could they stay abreast of what's going on?
Absolutely. So you can visit our website at www.lorettohospital.org, or our foundation's website, which is lhffoundation.org. We also have a Facebook page, Loretto Hospital, as well as Instagram and YouTube channels. So you can always stay up to date on all of the wonderful things we were doing, including, I forgot to mention, our community cupboard.
Okay, we're going to go over that quick. So if they was interested and want to know and want to be abreast, and you should, first of all, give Fathers Who Care a call, and we'll definitely keep you in the loop. That's one thing. But if they go to anything on just Google,
yes,
Loretto Hospital, is that fair?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You will find us out there. We are making sure that we communicate all of the wonderful things that we do, and we are welcoming the community back to the hospital post-COVID. And our overall goal is to restore dignity to healthcare.
So go with the community cupboard.
The community cupboard is an initiative that we know that we are in a food desert. We know that one of the social drivers is food insecurity for individuals. So what we did was we implemented a community cupboard. We sort of pivoted since we've first opened it. So now we serve individual single-serve meals because we realized that individuals were coming in. However, they had no means to cook the food.
Okay.
And so we pivoted our approach, and so now we serve single serve food meals to individuals who come in. It's available 24/7.
24/7.
24/7. Come in the hospital, no questions, no asks. If you are hungry, we are here to help.
See, that's what I wanted to talk about, and thank you so much, Tesa, for coming out, for sharing with us. You do owe us a part two.
Yes.
So whenever you feel like it, please come on
Anytime.
out. Please come on out and continue to empower us. Listen, you've been watching Fathers Who Care. Of course, the time on the wall is telling us we got to wind it down. But we want to thank Tesa and her team over at Loretto Hospital. Thank you, Trish. Thank you, all of those who I may miss names. Thank you, all of those who are part of this wonderful team over at Loretto Hospital. Thank you for all the good work that you're doing over there. Thank you for your compassion, your commitment to empowering the least of us on the west side of Chicago, particularly on Austin. I know for a fact that you all are always involved with anything that's happening in the community. Just finished a series of movie nights over at the Carrion Center.
Yes.
Beautiful showing, beautiful activities. Thank you so much, Tesa. Thank you so much for all you do. God bless you all. Keep the faith, and good night. We'll see you.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.